We did it. We did it, Minnie. We won a series in Boston for the first time since you were negative 11 years old. It's very hard to win at Fenway Park for the Seattle Mariners, but they did it. I'm going to put this thing down. She smells kind of. Now, where was I? Mariners win 4-3. They improved to 13-11 on 14-11 on the season. ESPN tried to lie to me. 14-11 on the season, and they win a series in Boston, taking 2 out of 3. Go over the scoring plays. Starts off great. Mitch Garver doubles to center to score Randy Arozarena and Dylan Moore. 2-0 in the middle of the first. Red Sox get one in the first. Alex Bregman, who is, geez Louise, is he playing well right now? Homers to left center to make it a 2-1 game, but the Mariners get 2 more in the second. Dylan Moore hits a sacrifice fly to score Ben Williamson, and Julio grounds out the second to score Leo Rivas. 4-1. Third inning, Alex Bregman again singles to left to score Jarren Duran. That makes it 4-2. And then Carlos, not Omar, Carlos Narvaez homers to right to make it a 4-3 game. But that's it. Oh, I don't want this road trip to end. This is as good as I've seen the Mariners on a road trip in a long, long time. And like I said, I think they said it had been since 2014. That was 11 years ago. That's the last time the Seattle Mariners won a series in Boston. They have never played well here, ever. I can remember Pedro Martinez just absolutely dominating those dudes. That was a long time ago now. But ever since, like, Boston's just been so much better of a franchise than the Seattle Mariners. And Boston has a lot of good things going for it now, too. But the Mariners do, too. And they're able to win a series. Now, we've got to talk about some negatives. I don't think there's very many. Julio goes 1 for 5. Now, he is robbed of a double by Bregman and robbed of a hit by Bregman. And he drives in the run. Want to see him driving the baseball again. Just the timing isn't quite there. He's fouling off some pitches that he should be hitting. He's going to swing and miss for his entire career, guys. He's going to strike out 150 to 175 times. That's just going to happen. That's today's baseball game. But I want to see him with those strikeouts. I'd like to see it paired with a little more pop. And it looked like he was showing that in the early portion. Hasn't shown it the last couple of weeks. So he might be the one guy who's excited to be getting home, by the way. Big Dumper had an awful game. Don't say that very often. And we need to see, the Seattle Mariner fans, need to see Big Dumper get a day off. He deserves it and then some. Just give him a day. I know he wants to play every day. I commend him for wanting to play every day. And the lineup is a lot worse without him in it. But he needs a day off. It's okay. There's no shame in taking a day off. I'd like to take a day off. I don't have very many of them, but, I appreciate them when I get them. My only other negative from this game is I don't love how Dan Wilson managed the bullpen again. And the results are fine, mostly. I loved him going to Colin Snyder in the 7th inning, and he pitched excellent, and we'll talk about that in a second. And I don't mind going to Gabe Spire in the 8th inning. What I don't get is why you don't have Colin Snyder face Narvaez, a not very good offensive player, but does have the lefty advantage when you bring in Spire for that situation. I don't get that. Now, I was thinking about it. Maybe the thought process there is if you have Spire face him and then you bring in, if you have Snyder face him and then you bring in Spire, then he has to pitch to Alex Bregman. Okay. I'd much rather take my chances. I have real doubts that Carlos Narvaez is getting a hit off Colin Snyder. Right on, right. And then I like my chances with Gabe Spire against those two lefties, and he dominated those two lefties. So if that would have, the way I would have done it is I would have had Snyder face that righty and then Gabe Spire face those two lefties. And if one of those guys gets on, you pitch around Bregman to have a lefty facing Wilyer Abreu. Seems pretty easy to me. Dan Wilson, it's working out, but I think your bullpen management leaves a little to be desired. Maybe I'm being too critical, but and then the other thing I didn't love was Trent Thornton facing Alex Bregman. And I know now for sure that they are just not going to let Andres Munoz pitch more than one inning. It's just not going to happen because that's the ultimate situation to bring in Munoz, right? Your best reliever, their best hitter right now. He's not their best hitter normally, but right now with Devers going through some stuff, that would be the perfect situation. So clearly there is a mandate being made, and it may be by Wilson, it may be by Dipoto, it may be by Hollander, it may be by Stanton, it could be made by a lot of people, that Andres Munoz is only going to throw one inning. But boy, that was scary. All due respect to Trent Thornton. It's not like Trent Thornton is Bobby Ayala. Sorry to bring Bobby Ayala into a Mile Y conversation. I swore I'd never do it. Not really, but I don't love talking about Ayala, a guy who had great stuff, but didn't always produce the best results. I didn't love Trent Thornton versus Alex Bregman. It worked out. It worked out thanks to a terrific catch by Leo Rivas. But that wasn't my favorite process. You know what my favorite process is ordering things from Simply Seattle, the very best in Seattle sports gear. Great stuff for the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Kraken, the Storm, the Sounders, the Huskies, anything you're looking at for the Seattle sports scene, you can find it simplyseattle.com. Use code MOLLYWOP15 to save 15% off your order. I just used it yesterday and bought a whole bunch of stuff. MOLLYWHOP15. Great deal. Great people. Thank you so much, Simply Seattle. Link in the description to make it nice and easy for you. What a great road trip. I truly don't think you can overstate how amazing this road trip is. Like, this was not facing Colorado and the White Sox. Now, it wasn't facing the Yankees and the Dodgers either. Okay. But these are good baseball teams that they're beating. And this is 5 series wins in a row. And the negative Nelly in me can't help but think, well, what if they would have started 5-5 instead of 3-7? But they're playing so well that you can't really complain about that right now. Playing so well. Offensively, Dylan Moore, a really nice day before leaving. With a righty on the mound. They just don't like Dylan Moore to face righties. That's fine. Julio did drive in the run. We talked about Big Dumper's struggles. Randy Arozarena, man, his approach is so good, and I don't think he gets talked about nearly enough how patient he is. And his at bat in the first inning against Garrett Crochet, who has been phenomenal in the year of our Lord 2025 and was phenomenal for most of 2024 as well. As good a swing and miss stuff as there is. So Moore gets the double. J-Rod strikes out after he has a 3-0 count, and he makes at least Crochet work. And I think that's a big thing we'll talk about in a second. Not so much with J-Rod particularly, but everybody here. Big Dumper strikes out pretty meagerly. Love you, Big Dumper. He had a tough day today. But then Randy Arozarena, and I believe he fell down 1-2. I could be wrong. But he battles back and he draws that walk. And then Mitch Garver drives that baseball off of the wall. I believe it was off the wall. If it wasn't off the wall, it was deep and scored 2 runs. It was a long time ago. Oh, that was big to get those 2 runs because, Moore, like I said, leads off with that double. And then you're kind of thinking, oh boy, it's going to get stranded. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Woo. Nope. Arozarena draws the walk, and then Mitch Garver does what Mitch Garver did for a long time before he became a Seattle Mariner. That was so big to get those 2 runs, and then to get the 2 runs in the second inning as well. So Garver with the double and the walk, you will take that and then some. Ben Williamson continues to look the bottom of the order once again. Everybody reaches twice. Everybody. Ben Williamson with the hit and the walk. Leo Rivas. Golly. Are you sure it's not Luis? Leo Rivas with the 3 reach game. 2 hits, a walk, and a masterful catch on Alex Bregman in the 8th inning. Just right over the shoulder. Brings that baby in. Huge. Huge. You don't want base runners in that. You don't ever want base runners, but you don't want base runners in that situation. Just an awesome catch. Can't say enough good things about how good he's looked. And JP Crawford. A couple of icky strikeouts, but another 2-for-4 day, making pitchers work, and making pitchers work was massive today. Garrett Crochet has been getting deep into games. He's been very efficient, but he wasn't efficient against the Mariners because they made him work. He was done after 5 innings, and I believe 109 pitches, something around that number anyway. That's really impressive. A guy who has as good a swing and miss stuff as any pitcher in baseball and has been, I think he had a 1.13 ERA coming into today. And you got him for 4 in the early 2 innings. That's really impressive. That is really impressive. That is not something I thought was going to happen, if I'm being completely honest with you. I rarely chalk up an L. But after the win last night, the last game of the road trip, a day game, Garrett Crochet, the shadows are going to be bonkers at some point. I really didn't think that they had a shot in this one. And I am so happy to be wrong. I joked on Blue Sky. Follow me on Blue Sky. I joked on Blue Sky that the 2 runs they got off Crochet were 3 more than I thought they'd score, which is funny because that would be a negative number. The offense was good today. Threw 8 walks, made people work, in particular Crochet. On the pitching side, Bryan Wood, back-to-back 6-inning starts is awesome to see. Awesome to see. And sure, he gives up the homer to Alex Bregman. And thank goodness they scored the 2, right? Because what are you thinking if it's 1-0 Red Sox instead of 2-1 Mariners, other than obvious math? You're thinking, well, they're in an early hole against this dude who strikes out the Mariners like it's... Yeah. You're thinking that. I know you are, because I was thinking it, and we are the same. But instead, it's a 2-1 game, and you feel pretty confident. For the Boston lineup is pretty good, but it's a good time to be facing him because the bottom's not so great. Now, Christian Campbell adds a nice element to that bottom of the lineup for sure, but there's some guys who are scuffling right now. So after he gave up that run, and I know he gives up another because Alex Bregman is just on fire right now. He was excellent. Excellent. He challenged hitters, but the stuff was good enough that he wasn't just middle. There was way too much middle, even while going 7 innings and giving up just the 3 runs. There was way too much middle against Toronto. Wasn't the case today. He had electric movement on that fastball. And, you know, I bet you there's some advanced scouts right now watching that are saying, oh, fastball's at the top of the zone. That's what you want to throw against the Boston Red Sox right now. Now, it's an effective pitch against a lot of teams. If you can locate it. If you miss, you can be in a lot of trouble. I almost said a very bad term. That's the way to beat that team right now, and Wu did a terrific job. Colin Snyder doesn't get enough credit, and I'm glad they're starting to use him in a way that makes sense for Colin Snyder. This is where Colin Snyder should be pitching. He should be a high leverage guy. And he came in and threw 10 pitches, 8 strikes. I don't understand why he didn't face Narvaez, but it worked out. And look, Gabe Spire gives up the homer on a ball that is a homer in exactly 1 ballpark, right? Now, I don't think that Narvaez is even putting the ball in the air against Snyder, but I'm not complaining too much about the work Gabe Spire has done. He was due to give up a run. It's crazy that it came against a not very good hitter, but that's how baseball. That's baseball, baby. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a television show. But other than that, he pitched great. Gets those 2 lefty outs. Thornton, it was a bit of an adventure, and I didn't love using him in that situation, but the results worked out. Andres Munoz's command wasn't very good, but the stuff was electric. Ooh, filthy stuff. Christian Campbell What a great way to end that road trip, to get that swing and miss and seeing that bat fly. That was cool. And Munoz has been outstanding this year. He is on pace. Let's say he doesn't get a save in the next 2 games. He'll still be on pace for 54 saves. Probably unsustainable, but gives you an idea of how many close games they've played and how good he's been in them. Oh, what a great road trip. I keep saying it, but it's no less true. To get 2 of 3 in every single series. And now, look, it's on paper. You get 3 games against the Marlins and 3 games against the Angels. Should be able to do some damage there. It will be very disappointing if they don't. I'm not saying they have to go 5-1. Certainly not saying they have to go 6-0. Anything but 4-2 here is a disappointment. And a lot of people give me crap for breaking it down how important it is. That's just how baseball works. It is such a long season that you have to break it down in these 6 to 9 game increments. Break it down by the current home trip. Break it down by the current road trip. Major league players are doing the same thing. Now, there's no reason to panic or get too high with 137 games left. But you can't deny that the Mariners look good right now. It's not always pretty, but it's good. There are a lot of things that are good that are not pretty. I'm one of them. I'd like to think so anyway. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I really appreciate the support. We'll be back. Well, Seahawk fans, I'm going to be recording a video shortly going over, we'll see. I might be giving you a video on the draft. I might not. If for sure, I'll react to the weekend of the draft, but kind of have an idea for a video. I just don't know if I can execute it yet. Taking you behind the scenes, baby. Really appreciate you guys watching. What a great road trip.